As King Henry and Prince Hal mobilise their forces, the rebel Hotspur cozies up to his latest and greatest ally, Douglas the Scot. This alliance makes the northern rebels a force to be reckoned with. How will King Henry defend his crown against such battle-hardened enemies? Let's hope Hal has some skills up his sleeve. But wait, there's some last-minute news from Hotspur's father, the Earl of Northumberland. He's suddenly taken ill and can't join them on the battlefield. Not only that, but Northumberland also hasn't been able to muster his troops in time. Oh, this is a big blow to the rebel army. It's like they've lost a limb. Hotspur's uncle, the Earl of Worcester, is troubled by this. But Hotspur and Douglas are keen to press on. It makes their campaign even riskier and the prize more attractive. But, according to Sir Richard Vernon, King Henry's forces aren't going to make it easy for them. Vernon brings news about the King's army. It's massive. And Prince Hal is bringing a legion of loyal soldiers, all armed and in uniform. Hal himself is suited and booted like a warrior god. He looks very impressive. Hotspur doesn't want to hear any more. If the king has a fancy army, then they'll make pretty sacrifices. Hotspur can't wait to meet Hal in battle. If only Glendower was here. Vernon has some more bad news. Glendower and his army won't be ready for another 2 weeks. Hey team, just a reminder, if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. It really helps the channel out, and our next upload could be on something taught in your next class. Thanks, and back to the video. Even Douglas the Scot admits that's bad news, and Worcester's blood runs cold. But then Vernon reveals the size of the king's army. It's 30,000 strong. You'd think Hotspur might pause to consider his plan at this point, but he's too far gone in his bloodlust. As far as he's concerned, the king can bring 40,000. It makes no difference. Hotspur's confident of his victory, even without the help of his father and Glendower. He wants all the rebel troops gathered and ready to fight. If they die happily. Meanwhile, the king's forces continue their march, including Falstaff and his company of ragtag soldiers. Originally, he'd approached wealthy young men to fight in the king's army, but he knew they were cowards and would bribe their way out of being drafted. So, Falstaff took the bribes and recruited his soldiers from the poor, the unemployed, and convicts fresh out of jail. They look like a bunch of zombies and scarecrows marching across the country. Most of them aren't even fully dressed. When Hal and the Earl of Westmoreland catch up with Falstaff, they remark on the pitiful state of his soldiers. Falstaff admits they're just cannon fodder and filling for mass graves. Well, those zombies need to march faster. The rebels are already in the field, and the king has made camp. Back at the rebels' camp in Shrewsbury, tension is brewing. Hotspur, being Hotspur, wants to attack tonight. Douglas the Scot is up for it too, but Vernon and Worcester strongly advise against it. They're still waiting for more troops to arrive, and the ones that are there are exhausted from their long journey. The king's army is bigger than theirs, so they need all the rest they can get. Speaking of the king, Sir Walter Blunt arrives to speak with the rebels and make them an offer. Hotspur welcomes him with respect and listens. The king wants to know what the rebels' complaints are. Why have the Percys raised an army against him? Whatever their demands are, the king is ready to meet them. He's also prepared to offer them and all their followers absolute pardons. Those are generous terms, but Hotspur doesn't trust the king's promises. He then goes on a lengthy rant, detailing his grievances against the king. The Percy family supported Henry before he was king, when he was just a banished criminal. When people saw that Hotspur's father, the Earl of Northumberland, supported Henry, they began to love him. The more popular Henry became, the greedier and more power-hungry he got. Eventually, it led to bloody mutiny and the death of King Richard II. Soon after Henry ascended the throne, he increased taxes, allowed Mortimer to be taken prisoner in Wales, and clamped down on the Percy family. As far as Hotspur's concerned, the rebellion is the natural result of King Henry's crimes and broken promises. They're also challenging his claim to the throne, which they believe is too flimsy to be legitimate. Hotspur obviously needed to get that off his chest. He sends Sir Walter Blunt back to the king without an answer for now, but the king can expect an early morning visit from Worcester, who will explain the rebels' demands. Sir Walter Blunt wishes they would accept the king's generous offer, and Hotspur gives him some hope that they still might. Will Hotspur see sense? Because there's more bad news on the way. In another part of England, the Archbishop of York is getting cold feet. He was one of the rebels' first powerful allies, but he's very worried about the rebels' chances against the king's mighty army, especially now that Northumberland has bowed out and Glendower has delayed his involvement. The rebels are down in numbers, and the Archbishop smells disaster. He asks Sir Michael, a nobleman and fellow rebel, to deliver urgent letters to powerful friends and family. If the rebel army is defeated, the Archbishop fears King Henry's wrath. He'll hunt down the Archbishop as a known enemy, along with any other nobleman involved in the rebellion. If that happens, they'll need to find sanctuary among trusted friends. Many lives hang in the balance as these powerful forces prepare to clash. Each player in this deadly game believes they are justified in their cause. Will reason prevail and disaster be avoided? Or will pride, honour and fury lead thousands to their deaths? We hope you enjoyed this Schooling Online production. For more easy lessons, check out our other videos.